live in the richest country in the world, yet 42 million Americans are trying to survive on $6 a day. $6. And while families are stretching meals, skipping groceries, and rationing food, the same leaders who claim to care about American values were able to magically uncover $40 billion for a foreign payout in a heartbeat. Not for schools, not for healthcare, not for struggling families, but for a political stunt.
Thank you so much. I listened to Mr. Van Drew, who I do respect, and he went on and on and on about how this is about the bad guys. And I will be honest with you and tell you that when it came down to the election, there were a lot of people who really believed that the Republicans and the president were all about getting the bad guys out. People truly believed your words, but your actions are not matching up, because I've got the receipts showing that they are not matching up. And so call us a little paranoid in believing that the hypocrisy may continue to come from across the aisle. Speaking of hypocrisy, I do want to point out, since we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, because we couldn't talk about Epstein before. If y'all recall, we were gone for about 2 months because we couldn't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. And now everybody wants to act as if they want to have like a real honest conversation about the victims and the survivors and everybody else. Where was this conversation a long time ago? And I know that y'all love to go back and say that Joe Biden didn't do it. You know, Joe Biden is blamed for everything. Joe Biden didn't do anything, and it was Joe Biden's fault, and why wasn't Joe Biden? Joe Biden didn't campaign on it. I just want to be clear. If y'all can run me the tape, then run me the tape. But you know, when you campaign and you go out and you make a promise, then we evaluate whether or not you actually meet your promises. So listen, this was rope that y'all decided to hang yourselves with because the president campaigned on the Epstein files while we were campaigning on things such as affordability. We were campaigning on the things that now people are complaining about, right? Because of the tariffs and the fact that you guys won't say anything and tell the president, hey, sir, tariffs are taxes. We as Republicans, we usually don't like taxes. And guess what? That's gonna make everything unaffordable. So now he's gonna be our big savior, and he is gonna reduce the price of foods, because he is the guy that actually increased the price of foods. So listen, if you can have this honest conversation about Epstein now, let's just go ahead with this lame duck president and be honest about everything that the American people care about. They care about affordability. They care about the fact that literally people are starving in this country because we have 42 million people, and I don't remember any one of you during that almost 2-month break deciding to go on faux news or any other news outlet and say, you know what, it is wrong to have 42 million people that are relying on $6 a day to eat, and we have the money because somehow our president was able to find under the couch cushion, the one that JD wasn't sitting on, under the couch cushion, he was able to find 40, how much did he find to send to Argentina? 40, there we go, 40 billion to send to Argentina. But those emergency funds, he couldn't find them emergency funds so that Americans could eat. So listen, if y'all are gonna be honest and talk about Epstein right now, let's be honest about everything that is causing y'all to lose real bad. Did y'all see the election results on November 4th? It didn't go very well. So let's just start having honest conversations so that hopefully some of y'all in some of these tight seats, maybe y'all can get reelected and we can just work together.
Today's hearing took a turn the moment Rep. Jasmine Crockett stepped into the conversation. And as always, she didn't waste a second cutting through the noise. She started by pointing out a harsh truth that many people in power don't like to acknowledge. In this political climate, Republicans show more outrage over the treatment of animals than the suffering of actual American families. It was a jarring reminder of how misplaced priorities have shaped policy decisions and how political theatrics often overshadow real human needs. From there, Crockett dove straight into the hypocrisy at the heart of the GOP's immigration narrative. Republicans talk endlessly about getting the bad guys out, painting a picture of floods of criminals overwhelming the system. But the actual data, which Crockett entered into the record, shows that the majority of people held in ICE detention today have no criminal record at all. And she's right to raise that point. If the policies don't match the promises, that's not enforcement. That's narrative manipulation. And Crockett didn't just disagree with Republicans. She brought receipts. She then brought up a topic Republicans suddenly pretend to care about, Jeffrey Epstein. For months, they blocked hearings, dodged questions, and shut down conversations. Now they want to act like champions of justice? Crockett called it exactly what it was, selective outrage, a manufactured moment of caring meant to score points rather than deliver accountability. And she made a sharp point. Joe Biden didn't campaign on Epstein. Republicans did. So if they want to drag the topic into the spotlight, they should be held to the same standard they try to impose on everyone else. But the real heart of Crockett's takedown came when she pivoted to affordability, the issue Americans feel every day but Republicans continue to ignore. She highlighted the impact of Trump's tariffs, an economic policy Republicans refuse to challenge, despite the fact that tariffs are taxes. Taxes that raise prices on everyday products, taxes that make groceries more expensive, taxes that hit working families hardest. And somehow, as Crockett said, Trump now wants to play the hero and lower food prices, even though his own policies help create the problem. Then she delivered the line that captured everything wrong with today's Republican leadership. They somehow managed to find $40 billion under a couch cushion to send abroad, but couldn't find enough money to help feed Americans struggling to survive on $6 a day through food assistance programs. 42 million people depend on that support. 42 million people who aren't asking for luxury, just enough to eat. And Republicans didn't say a word about them during their months-long recess. Not a single Fox News appearance, not a single segment of outrage, not a single moment of advocacy, because starving Americans don't fit their manufactured talking points. Crockett closed by reminding Republicans that voters see through all of it. The November 4th election results weren't an accident, they were a reaction. Voters rejected the cruelty, the hypocrisy, the culture war distractions, and the refusal to address real issues like hunger, healthcare, and affordability. She didn't sugarcoat it. Republicans are losing because they aren't telling the truth and they aren't helping the people they claim to represent. And her message was clear. If Republicans want to talk about honesty, justice, or American families, they need to start matching their rhetoric with action. The American people aren't fooled. They're tired. They're watching, and they're voting accordingly. This moment wasn't just a political exchange. It was a reminder that leadership means standing with those who are struggling, speaking truth when others hide behind talking points, and fighting for solutions when others choose distractions. Rep. Crockett laid out what real accountability looks like. Now it's up to Congress and the voters to decide who is serious about helping this country and who is just performing outrage for cameras. If you want more breakdowns that expose the truth, uplift democratic values, and unpack the issues shaping our lives, make sure you hit subscribe, tap the like button, and share this video. Your voice and your engagement keep conversations like this going. This moment wasn't just a political exchange. It was a reminder that leadership means standing with those who are struggling, speaking truth when others hide behind talking points, and fighting for solutions when others choose distractions. Rep. Crockett laid out what real accountability looks like. Now it's up to Congress and the voters to decide who is serious about helping this country and who is just performing outrage for cameras. If you want more breakdowns that expose the truth, uplift democratic values, and unpack the issues shaping our lives, make sure you hit subscribe, tap the like button, and share this video. Your voice and your engagement keep conversations like this going.